For most of my career, probably like you, I've been good at what I do. I've helped people solve their problems. So they buy into me being able to do that, which means it's even harder, isn't it, to let go? Because the problem is, I have absolutely nothing to show for it that doesn't require me showing up again tomorrow. Every workshop, every client discovery call, every client, every solution, it's all in my head. This is the trap that nobody talks about. It's not the 9 to 5 trap. It's the I got stuck selling my time for money, because you can solve a problem. So each client gets a lot from you and you get, but it's completely, entirely, 100% dependent on your own time for every pound of it. So in the middle of planning a family move to France, I decided I'm going to fix that finally, publicly. I've only got 300 followers on Instagram, a lot of old tech colleagues on LinkedIn. So let me show you exactly what this process looks like. Honestly, I can see a lot of advice out there, and I get a lot of clients who signed up for the £10,000 programs, and they come to me and they're often confused and they're overwhelmed, and they're still talking about strategy and messaging and vision, but they haven't built a thing. I'm a great case of this. So right now, I am going to solve this problem for me in front of you. We're going to build the right packaged offer away from the current time for money business that I've created so that I can move abroad and have a steady income plan. And I'm doing this using the process that I've done with others, and I'm documenting the whole journey for you. If you want to join me live and come along, just comment the word build and we can build together. Let me describe your week. You have clients or a job, or you do both. You deliver the work and you get paid. You go on calls, you deliver more work, or you do more time, you get paid. And when you stop, the money stops. But it's not the business you wanted. This is more like a job where you thought you'd have some freedom, but really all you're doing now is you're doing your own invoicing and marketing on top of still doing the work. And I know, because I've been doing this for years, I have been building clients' funnels and digital systems and coaching calls, and I get paid for it. But every single pound is contingent on me personally doing the work. I've tried to fix this in other ways, and you probably have too. So I did the freelancing thing. I started to build an agency with more staff or freelancers working for me. The time for money overhead was just crazy and was not what I wanted. I also tried property. Turns out it's just a different equation of the same thing. What I kept missing, and what I think most of us miss, is that the problem isn't necessarily how we're working. We have built a service, not an asset. My offer is entirely around me doing it with you. So instead of finding new ways that people can get the same result, and these are completely different things, a service is something you do. An asset is something you've created, and people can do it without you. Here's what that means in a practical sense. Like if you're a coach and you sell your time on one-to-one hours to solve a problem for somebody, this is a service. If you take that framework to get that result and you structure it so it can be self-led, it's clear, that takes on the work and you can sell it so someone can buy it, use it without you being there. That's the asset. That's what we want. If you're a consultant who charges a day rate, if you take the process that you would do in that day, you run it and you document it and you package it and you sell it, that's an asset. It's the same knowledge. It's the same experience. It's the same expertise. And the difference is whether you packaged it in a way that can exist without your presence. Now, there's so much more to this that we're going to unpack, including some steps about how do we start to figure out what that is. But I've built these for clients for years, and service providers and coaches and consultants, and they turn what they know into something that earns beyond their hours. I know how this system works. The embarrassing part is that I never went all in on building something for myself until now. And I'm doing it with the clock ticking because we're moving to France in 3 months and I need this to be up and running before we get on the plane. There is a slight urgency. You're going to be able to follow along, or you're going to be able to join me and get this done in the same time frame as me. But I feel like, first of all, I just want to confront why I might not have done this so far. And if I'm honest, yes, there's a fear that people don't get results unless I'm working with them. but it's more than that. It's actually deeper than that. I realized that I have a limiting belief over time. You know that thing where when you had a job, you had to work time, you got paid, and you clocked on, you clocked off, you had your hours, and you never left early without making up your time. The problem is, in that mindset, if I'm not working hours, I'm not earning. So my view of value is that I create value in the world by doing work for hours. But this is not how value is created. I learned one very important lesson as I've been doing my business, and it's that people aren't buying your time. They don't care. They couldn't care less what time you're spending. They're buying the result. They just care that it works. So what does turning a skill into an asset actually involve? If you're like me and you do something or you coach somebody, it's really not easy because you're in the weeds of it all day long and you're doing the actual steps often intuitively. But the first step we've got to do is identify the specific problem we solve. So this is a big mistake. It's not the whole thing. It's not teaching someone everything you know. It's not creating a course of your life's work. It's got to be one specific painful problem. And I always have a problem with figuring out, oh, what is that specific one problem? I'm spending a lot of time on this step and I'm asking questions that I would ask a client like, what do people come to you for? What's the one thing that people know you for? When they're on a discovery call and they're asking you questions, if you answer something and they immediately have everything they need and just leave the call and never sign up, that's a clue of something they would have bought from you. If they do sign up for your coaching, what's the one thing they're on the call trying to like a checkbox? I was just hoping you would talk about this or tell me you know about this or how to help this. And when you know that, when you know what people are really wanting in their words, the result, the outcome, and that they're confident, so confident in it on your discovery call that they buy, you can package something. And sometimes it's about looking at your free content. Because if they're tuning into a particular type of free content, I've got some how-to videos, maybe that's also a clue. And there's two trains of thought that we can take on this one. We can either take the train of thought that says, this is an accessible version of the main thing we do. So for me, it's I build out your digital product and all your systems and I help you launch it. This whole packaged product here sometimes isn't accessible because people don't have the budget or they wanted more control over it all. So maybe it's about having a more accessible version. If you've ever had people on a call go, I can't afford that, or I haven't got the time to invest in that, and you know that there could have been a slimmed down version that they would have done, then that's really helpful. Because we've got to all admit, between our free, when somebody discovers you, and between our full paid program, there's quite a jump, and we've got nothing in between. That's where we've got to fill the gaps in, isn't it? And this is what I do with people. So now I'm doing it for myself. I've got to fill this gap soon. It's about having something that's maybe not as high touch. So it's the same result, but I won't be on one-to-one calls with you. I won't be checking your offer page or your system or building it for you. So what is that thing in the middle? The second train of thought is if your role is highly complex, and I guess the best thing I can think is when I've thought of my area is the list building. So there's different elements of it and you can teach just one element of what you do, and that's still a win because there's people still looking for that particular piece, not the whole package, but they just want to know the starter bit or how to solve this problem. That is also more accessible. So for me, I'm either going to be building an accessible version of my full offer, which is basically build your digital offer, your packaged solution ready to sell, or it's going to be the alternative parts, like the workshopping the offer, or finding your niche or USP, or building your email list, or templates, swipe files, chat prompts, landing page templates. Maybe it's going to be chat GPT prompts, or maybe it's the systems, because people always ask me, what systems do you use? And it's kind of like the last thing in the puzzle. I'd really love to get your feedback on this, by the way. So are there any of these things that leap out at you and say, yes, people need that, we need that, that should be created? Help me with my market research. Join me in the comments. Let's get the ball rolling and make this year the year that you actually create this asset, as well as me. Right, step number 2. is we're going to extract the process, which is really difficult because when you're working with somebody, most of what you do is probably intuitive. We've now got to document it. We've got to write it down. So I was having a look at this before I started this process, thinking, well, okay, I've got to do this live on camera. So I've actually got to go through this process. So first one is I always do some big picture vision work with clients to figure out, well, what are you trying to build is what you want as well. Then we do that free to one mapping of your products. Then we figure out what's the outcome, what's the main thing that you're selling, and who's it for, and are they going to buy it? We then do some market research. We also look at naming it. I've got a checklist for a brilliant offer. I've got a list that I go through people with brainstorming 50 different ways to package your expertise so that we can start to create a package that really works. I do a simple sales funnel design and we start to package it and put it all together ready for sale. So there's quite a lot there. There's probably more that I'm going to go through as well, and probably more detail in the nuance. But comment build if you want to join me, by the way, live as we build all this stuff out. But that's your second step, is you've got to start to document what you actually do. Step number 3 is deciding on the format. Now, most people, we just go, right, it's going to be a course. So much more than that. There's video series, there's workshops. The complexity of what we're going to do cannot overwhelm people. That's the biggest mistake I see. It has got to be something that works for them. So I made a list of 50 different ways to package your expertise. I've cut them out here. You can get your free copy. It'll always be free underneath this video. And basically what I'm going to do is in my next video, we are going to go through all 50 of these and we're going to get to a short list of about 3. I'm going to run them through these questions. Number 1, does it work for my lifestyle? So that's the vision piece. Number 2, does it work for my expertise? Actually, will it work? And number 3, will it work for the client? Because they all matter. Now, moving on to step 4, and step 4 is the one that people mostly leave out because it feels like a scary thing to do. You're putting yourself out there for the first time. And before we're going to build anything, and before I'm going to build anything, is I'm going to put it out there. This is my first step of putting it out there, is asking you for some feedback. My second step will be, I'm going to ask people, who's going to buy this at this price? Once I've nailed down what I'm doing, I'm going to be really cautious of friends and family because it's just not great research, let's be honest. The litmus test, it might be clients, potential clients, people that are in your pipeline that you can email and say you were interested once, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to put it on my socials, even though I have a teeny weeny following. So I'm going to supplement this with lots of asking and research. And if I get a feel that actually, yeah, this is going to sell, then we're going to move on to step number 5. I don't know what, I'm hoping this time frame is going to happen pretty quick. We're going to try and get this done in the 6 weeks. So we are going to build it basic. Always build basic to begin with. The best thing you're going to do, if you do like a digital course, the best thing you can do is deliver it live first and record it all. And then if you want to re-record your videos. The thing is, we want to make sure we get something out there instead of trying to perfect it so much. And people always ask me about the systems when it comes to number 5. Systems, we're going to choose something that is going to live with us for at least 10 years because moving stuff around is expensive. And we also don't want to get caught in a dodgy system that doesn't really work. So then we're ready to sell. So I'm currently looking, as you can see, at step 1 and step 2. I would love your input. I'm going to document all of these steps on this channel. My next one is going to be, after this, is going to be the 50 different ways to package your expertise. And when we do that, I'd love for you to do that as a workshop style with me. Here's why this feels urgent for me right now. You probably noticed I've sped up because I'm like, oh, we've got so much to do. We're moving our family of 5 to France in 3 months. I have been very honest with myself about the fact that I cannot move with my current working pattern. The goal is a life that works on our terms, where the income doesn't stop if I take a week to explore a new region or take the summer off, or if the kids are ill, or if I want to work from a cafe in Toulouse. You know, for that to be true, we need assets, don't we? Not just skills, not just clients. And I'm guessing you do too. And things that we've built that earn while I'm living the life that we're designing. The slightly uncomfortable truth for me is knowing that I have been doing this for other people and I am only just doing it for myself now with a timer on. But then that's the best way to do things. And I'm showing you every part. So if I trip up, if I fail, if it doesn't work, if the idea doesn't get rejected, it's going to be really useful. If you are a service provider, somebody, coach, consultant, freelancer, whatever, who is tired of the time for money exchange. I think we're asking the same questions. I just happen to be going through my process on camera with you while I do mine, and then you can too. You know, if any of this landed, I'd really love to know. Please leave it in the comments. I read every single one and I genuinely try to respond, because your answer might be exactly the video I make next. We're in this, you know, we're on the same journey. And the free guides. So I've got the 2 free guides. They're free. They always will be. And if you want to do this alongside me rather than just watch, there's a link down there too, or you could just comment the word build. We're going to do it in real time. We're going to come build with me. Yeah. Right. Next time, I'm going to cover the France visa reality, because there's some stuff that nobody tells you about moving with a family in 2026. And I'm also going to cover how I'm going to distill these 50 ways to package my expertise. Come along, do this with me. I will see you there.